By the way, I should also mention this. If you're into mobile gaming, you're not a gamer. It's just a known fact. If you mobile a game, you're not officially a gamer. The only exceptions are games that were already released on console, released on phone. Good example, Sonic 1 and 2. An actual professionally made game, Minecraft Pocket Edition. Or a game that has a big community and that has been released on PC. Something like Granny or Geometry Dash. Even though the last one is probably the worst one, it's still gaming. But if you play something like fucking Tycoon Simulator on mobile, if you play Paperia, you're not a gamer. Let's be for real. You're not a gamer. This is the subcategory of mobile gamers. One of the worst fucking gaming communities out there. Because every single time, they always end up using a cheap phone and can't properly record it. So the people who end up actually wanting to play like mobile games, they usually use an emulator, not a phone. Because emulating a phone is way easier than actually recording via phone. Oh, hello. So, you want to be a video gamer, huh? You want to stream video games on a streaming service like Twitch? Or Mix. Or you want to be a video game YouTuber because that's your dream job? Well, good luck with that. Well, I got you covered. So, basically, video game collecting... Oh, wait. Not collecting. Playing. So the first thing you want to do is use whatever microphone you have. If it's your phone microphone, if it's an Xbox 360 microphone, because for some reason people like using really crappy microphones because it's funny, J Schlatt reference, ha 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 ha, laugh now. An expensive microphone, an $1,000 microphone because you're during quarantine and you have nothing better to do, or even your camera microphone, or even, like what I use, headphone microphone. Or, if I'm feeling lazy, of course, my laptop microphone. And, that's perfectly acceptable. So, let's get to the actual basics. Because you don't need a face cam. We'll get to that later. So, of course, the first thing you want to know is comedy. So, what is comedy? Well, basically, however you can make anybody laugh. So, a good example of be loud. Be really loud while playing horror games, like Mark, in Jacksepticeye, in J Schlatt, or old PewDiePie. Just be loud, because for some reason the internet finds loud funny. Now, also, don't forget to use outdated jokes nobody even likes anymore, because by the time you upload the video, those jokes will be a week old. So, something like Yankee with no brim, or Baba Booey, or bruh, or any single Vine sound effect whatsoever. Of course. Now, to professionally look like a gamer, you have to have the gamer setup. So basically, you have to collect video games sometimes. So the important thing about that is to buy stupidly expensive video games you probably won't even play or even have the consoles for. Of course, it could be as simple as paying $60 for this masterpiece right here. The thing is, I don't have a Windows 98 and I have to emulate this. And it's also $60. And do I play it? Yes, but that's a problem. We need games you will probably never touch whatsoever. And I have the perfect game for that. True Lover on Nintendo DS. This is one of the most boringest fucking games ever made. $40 to $100. For a console, nobody plays anymore. And of course, since people have forgotten what the word retro means and just think NES, of course you have to have an NES or Super Nintendo thing. And of course, mistakenly say that 16-bit and 32-bit is 8-bit. Because that's what society has come to. That's what retro is, even though what retro should be today is the GameCube or the Nintendo Wii. Of course, since you'll be doing that, you will have to have one of these, an NES cartridge. Even if you don't own an NES, at least just buy one. Even if it's a game nobody gives two living fucks about, like a sports game, you still have an NES game. And you look retro. Of course, you have to also have a Twitter account, because Twitter is the difference of the world. If you don't have a Twitter account, how are you going to complain about emulation? And saying that's illegal, even though the only way to play most games is to take out a loan or emulate it. A good example, Jack Brothers on Virtual Boy. That game cost at least the least amount I saw was $700. The most, $3,000. The console to run it on is $1,000 or $700. So you might as well just take out a loan for $4,000, and now you can finally play a game. One game on a console that gave headaches. But yeah, that's pretty much what the retro business is about. Only talk about NES or Super Nintendo. Do not delve into Nintendo 64, GameCube, or Wii territories. And if you delve into those, nobody gives two living shits about you. So you either be really old vintage of NES or Super Nintendo, or be new and modern of Xbox 360, because the Xbox One can run it, or Nintendo Switch, because the Nintendo Switch is the newest console. Yeah. Now, here's another thing you have to do. You have to dress normally. This is sort of in the face cam category, but we'll talk about the face cam later. We'll talk about the face cam later. You have to dress like an actual gamer. So of course you have to get a Nintendo Entertainment System shirt that makes you look vintage. You have to get glasses because it makes you look like an absolute nerd and the type of person you'd bully in school. Of course, you also have to have a mental illness. A good example, Scott the Waz. He has scoliosis and is colorblind. Or Chris Chan. I do not count Chris Chan as a gamer, by the way. I count him as an artist. But he does have a good game collection. Chris Chan is autistic. Like me. Now, of course, if you're planning on being a Let's Player, you need a capture card. Or you can just do PC games if you want. It doesn't matter. You also have to always be on the trends. You know, Friday Night Funkin', even though that game is boring as fuck. You need to... What's a good example? Fuck, that's like the only good game now. Among Us. Now, of course, since you're going to be a gamer, you're obviously going to be a virgin. So, of course, you need at least two things. Well, at least one... Fuck! You need at least one thing. But two options for that. It can either be an animal, like a dog or a cat. Don't get a hamster, don't get a lizard, because you will not seem epic. Or get a body pillow. I'm looking at you, weebs. Now, of course, with all of this, what about your face? Of course, you can use several different cameras. Personally, I just use my laptop camera because this phone sucks ass. And the best part about this phone, I have a grudge about this phone. It does not have a focus. It doesn't even have an autofocus. This phone sucks. That's why I bought a camera. And I will show off the camera now. Now that we're back to the shitty-ass camera, because why the fuck would I use my new camera? You need a way to record the screen. This is the biggest thing. You need to be able to record the screen. So personally, I would prefer Streamlabs. Streamlabs OBS. Or you can use the complicated thing that is the normal OBS. Or if you're extremely poor and your computer can't even handle a streaming, recording software, just use a 3DS that's recording the screen. That's what I used when I was a little younger. It works. That's the sad part. Now, of course, you have to have a bunch of stupid Nintendo stuff. unless you don't like Nintendo, like most people. You have to have a bunch of stupid stuff on your walls to look cool, like Daco, which his entire room is dedicated to Five Nights at Freddy's. What the fuck is wrong with him? And, of course, with me, I don't know. I just do whatever I want. Now, of course, being a video gamer, you have to buy something that's stupidly expensive, like me. Of course, I have some extremely weird things that I will show off now. You have to collect the most stupidest shit. So, of course, I have Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. $300, of course. You know, I also have some VHSs of Air Bud and Fantasia. Lil Yachty's Reese's Puffs. We'll get on this later. And some Tyler albums, even though I don't even listen to his music anymore. And a crucified Mario. So, of course, now you're starting to get into the video gaming world. Good job. There's just one more step that you have to take. Now, this one's that every gamer can, relate to. And this one's a really important step. And it involves Twitter. And the thing is, the more popular you get, the more you have to do this. You have to fuck a child. Yes, that's the most important step. That's what every fucking gamer has done. Call me Carson. Pro Jared. Eat that. Every gamer has at least fucking saw a naked child at least at one point in their life. The more popular you get, the more images and videos you have to keep. And if you're extremely popular, like in the millions, you have to start dating one. It's just a tip that every YouTuber has done. Don't admit it. Don't forget this. This is a true fact. It's a known fact that every gamer is a pedophile. Same thing with you Twitter users. Gotcha. Fuck you, Twitter. So, those are my tips on how to be a gamer. Of course, a lot of stuff is, unnecessary. You don't have to have a microphone. You can just record long plays of video games and, let people use them. People love long plays because, people get to use that without having to record it on themselves. People have even admitted to using long plays. Scott the Woz shows it sometimes because he can't access a certain Wii channel in the Wii channel's video. Funny Fart, which is an actual fucking channel, used it for a Slendy Tubbies video because he couldn't record footage because it would make his disk space run out. And, I don't use it because I don't even edit my own fucking videos, which brings us into another point. Editing your videos. I put this at very last because, well, not that many people do it. What's the point? You could just live stream it and keep it all uncut. Now, personally, I don't really have a preference. I have a total of 4 different editing programs in case of what day I'm feeling. I have OpenShot, which I use the least because it's one of the worst editing programs, even though it's free. I have Windows Movie Maker, which, yes, I actually legitimately use. A lot of my videos are edited in Windows Movie Maker. I have Vegas Pro 13, and I have Adobe Premiere. Of course, I pirated those last 2 because I'm not paying $100 for a fucking video editing program. And after that, I think you're ready. Of course, you're probably wondering, what about the quality of the videos? What about the gaming itself? What about the PCs? Now, this is a little bit more complicated because I have nothing to do with this. You see, recording the games takes a lot of CPU, so you need a big amount of CPU. So that's where, desktops come in, because we don't use a gaming laptop like me. It was the worst mistake of my life. My computer constantly crashes trying to load Minecraft. Well, more like... Now, that's pretty much all of it.